If there's one lesson that I've taken away from my time with my first run of Fire Emblem Engage's Maddening mode, it's that the DLC chapters are actually the hardest by far of everything that I've had to deal with in the run. So I figured if I'm having a hard time with it, there's probably a lot of other people that are having a hard time with it as well. So I would take you all through what I did to successfully complete the first of the DLC chapters, Tiki's Paralogue. Let's go over some things. Hello everyone, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Titanium Legman. If you find this video or any of my other videos useful, interesting, fun, entertaining, anything like that, please do consider subscribing. I am a small-time creator, making YouTube my full-time career, and I could use all the help that I can get to continue growing in the algorithm. And hey, maybe you know someone who had a hard time with Tiki's Paralogue, or I'll be doing guides like this for all the other Paralogues as well. So if they did, or if you did, shoot them this video and maybe it'll help somebody out. So that'd be great. Thank you all so much for the support. So there's two sides of this that I want to go over. The first, we're actually going to let me of the past talk through what my team setup was. The team that I came into Tiki's Paralogue with after bashing my head against the wall the night prior in order to figure out how to deal with it. And I came up with a pretty good battle plan that worked out with the team that I had. This is a team that comes in directly after having completed Diamant's first chapter in Brodia, so not that late into the story. We still have access to our full complement of the early game emblems. And I figured it was a good time to try and tackle some things. I knew I had the power. I just needed the strategy. So that's part one, is the actual team comp. Part two is going to be dealing with the endless waves, or nearly endless waves, which is an important factor, we'll get into that, of reinforcements. Basically is the chapter as a whole, and then we'll do a brief section after we deal with the reinforcements of dealing with the rest of the chapter, how to approach Tiki, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna let myself from the past take it away here with the team comp, and then we'll come back and talk strategy. First off, Etier is here. I know people were asking if this is something I was going to be doing. She is here. She has Leaf. For some reason, she doesn't have her bow equipped, but that's fine. We'll fix that once we get into the fight. She has a +2 steel bow with Leaf's engrave on it, as well as a strength tonic to ensure that she's dealing as much damage as I need her to do. Should be all that we need here to be able to have her one-shotting dragons left, right, and center. We've dropped Louis in favor of Yunaka. We've also dropped Fram to bring in Etier. Yunaka, I figure, is going to wind up being useful, being able to just weaken things, poison things, do the general Yunaka thing. So I figure just having her on hand is going to be good. She'll be better with Celica. And, like, if we're killing all the reinforcements at the entrance, we aren't going to need more than one healer. So I'm not too worried about not having Fram with us. I put Marth's engraving on Yunaka's dagger to ensure that she's dealing a little bit of extra damage. And we gave her... I think I gave her a strength tonic. Let me actually check that. Yes, and I gave her a strength tonic to just punch more damage through. And yes, for the first time ever, I might very well be using Fram's meal, or any meal, on anybody. Jean, as our only healer, has been switched around a little bit. He now has Rewarp, Mend, Obstruct, and Restore, so he can do all of the utilitizing is what I was going to go for originally, that I need him to. Easy peasy. Clan. I turned a couple of my silver ore, the ones that I got naturally as a part of the game, into ores so that I could refine his Thunder Tome, and I put Roy's engrave on it. So he's going to be dealing a whole lot more damage than he was before. Not too worried about his killing capability now. Diamant, I gave a few different tonics to buff his strength and his speed and his defense, because without Louis, we're going to need someone on the front line, and that's probably going to be Diamant. I also gave him the Folkvanger, which I put the Rivals engraving on so that he has just a bit more staying power. Alchrist is exactly as he was, because as we saw out of all of our units, he was performing the best last night. He shouldn't have any problems killing dragons in the same way that he was before. Chloe also got a few tonics. She got some HP, she got some strength, she got some speed. And I gave her the Rider's Bane to try and pick off some pesky cavalry since we don't have it on Louis anymore. Finally, Allier didn't really get changed all that much. Couple of tonics thrown in there just to try and buff his killing capability, but really we're using him for more hit and runs and then positioning to give our other units that +3 damage. We got kind of stuck in Tiki's Paralogue last night because I wasn't prepared for the dragons, since that wasn't something that, you know, I had seen before in the base game. But I took the time overnight to optimize a strat, and we're going to get it. It's going to be good.
Show me your strength.
Once you've carved your way through the initial small group of enemies who are quite easy, you're going to want to set up at the front entrance to the fortress that Tiki is holed up in. On turn 13, waves of enemy reinforcements are going to spawn 4 at a time, including 2 ice-breathing wyverns and then 2 of a other semi-random enemy class. We're looking at cavaliers, thieves, fighters of various kinds, all that type of stuff. So you need to be able to clear these groups of enemies as efficiently as possible, and the team that we have set up here is going to do just that. Seeing as how the wyverns are in fact flying units, they are weak to arrows, so having both Alchrist and Etier, or other archers of your choice if you're doing this with other bow-wielding characters, are going to be vital, and having them set up to be able to one-round the dragons is also going to be massively important. Thus the tonics and engravings and refines and all that type of stuff that I have on their steel bows. So check this out. Come on, bring out your dead. Bring out your dead, or you're soon to be dead. I'm not dead yet. Yeah, you're about to be. This should be right here. Yep. Okay, here we go. 1 Dargon dead. Oh, this is satisfying. Oh, this is very satisfying already. 2 Dargons dead. Oh, this is so nice. Off to a way better start. Yeah. Well, again, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't think I need to, like, go through and do any special, like, extra grinding or getting seals or anything, as much as I totally hear why that was being recommended. But, like, I just needed to optimize. I could feel we were so close to winning last night anyway, and that's where my frustration was coming from. I just needed to go through and optimize my team setup a little bit better, and we're golden. In order to eke out the damage that I needed to do to both slay the wyverns and deal with the other enemy reinforcements, I made great use of Alier's Divinely Inspiring skill to give 3 extra damage per attack to all of my units that were around him. I also made a lot of use of Clan, using the S-rank Olwen Bond Ring that applies Dire Thunder, allowing him to guaranteed double with Thunder Tomes to deal with enemies as efficiently as I could. Chloe, Diamant, Yunaka would weaken enemies, finish them off, all that type of stuff, with Jean running around and healing as needed. The scariest waves here for me were definitely the waves that spawned in with armor units, as my regular physical units were not able to really deal with them. That's where Clan became extremely useful, being able to basically nuke one down with only a little bit of a need for a finisher due to his Dire Thunder Ring. And then having Yunaka with Celica for some extra magic damage, armor slayers, all that type of stuff, all going to be very valuable here. It is important to note as well, there will be times while you're dealing with the reinforcements out front that Tiki decides to send some of her units from within the fortress to attack you from the rear and try to catch you in a pincer attack. Pay attention to when these units start to move. Don't just get caught up in the slaying of the reinforcements. Watch for movement inside the fortress. Once they start to approach, trying to time when they'll be arriving at your position. Move units slightly out of the way, adjust your formation if you need to, until they are just about to reach you, and you are able to slay the last wave of reinforcements that arrives prior to that. Take those reinforcements out first, then turn your attention to the enemy behind you and take them out. Burn Emblem energy, use big weapons, do what you need to do to clear them, so that way you can get rid of them before the next wave spawns. Again, you don't want to get caught in that pincer attack. Better to use your Emblem energy here, take out the enemies coming from within the fortress, and then build it back up as you're dealing with the reinforcements, than to hold on to your energy and wind up stuck in a pincer attack that it won't get you out of. Again, you should be able to avoid this. You should not be caught with your pants down, deal with the reinforcements in front of you, then turn. You have enough space to deal with it, but pay attention. This should only happen once or twice, and you should be able to catch it. The reinforcements here are going to spawn every 3 turns until you get to turn 35, in which one final wave will spawn consisting of 3 wyverns. If you've been dealing with all the reinforcements up to this point, that shouldn't be too hard to deal with. Again, your archers should hopefully be able to one-shot 2 of them, and then you've got an array of other units hopefully mages, units who have their emblem abilities active, all that type of stuff, to finish off the third and final one and free yourself of this reinforcement nightmare. I have no idea how this is going to shake out, so let's just get there and see what happens. It's just 3 dragons. I mean, this seems fine. I mean, even if they spawn more afterwards, like, I can kill 3 dragons. Is this 35th turn? It is. Been a long time since I played DDLC.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, and that's all the reinforcements, right? From here forward is where we're going to move into covering part 3 of this video, which is going to be dealing with the rest of the enemies on the map, dealing with Tiki, and making sure that you're getting your treasure. So let's talk about that. As you begin pushing forward into the map, keep an eye out for any dragons that may still be remaining. There's potentially ones flanking you on the sides, as well as ones in enemy squads as you move up. Just move slowly, lure each individual group one at a time, try not to pull too many things at once, use your archers to clear the dragons, and you should be fine. Without the dragons in the picture, pretty much everything else is going to be just standard Fire Emblem clearing, so if you've gotten this far, you should be able to handle it. Pick your fights, don't get overwhelmed, and you should be fine. Move up into the middle room first, clear the enemies there, grab the treasure, and then activate the seal that will open up the far left side room, which you will then need to move into. Again, grab the treasure, activate the seal to open Tiki's room. Something you should do first, though, and this is probably the most important aspect of the video other than clearing out the reinforcements, is it would behoove you to clear the dragon in Tiki's room prior to opening the seal, as her entire room will aggro once you do. To do this, you're going to want to place one of your archers, I chose Alchrist, right outside the door with their best bow equipped, and preferably with a Chi Adept next to them to chain guard. You may not be able to attack in while the seal is up, but enemies can attack out, and you will be allowed to counterattack. So, you can lure the dragon that is inside into attacking you. You will then be able to counterattack, kill it. If it was given a revival stone by Tiki, pop the revival stone, and then, on the next turn, kill it. And you'll have a significantly easier time with Tiki's room once it's open without that wyvern there. Again, then proceed, get the second seal, and just bring in Tiki's squad to your waiting embrace and take them out with any of your preferred boss clearing strats. Tiki is tough with the +5 to all of her stats that she gets in her transformed state, but by this point, you should have emblem attacks up, you should have your whole squad available to you. Whoever your preferred boss clearing units are shouldn't have too much of a time bringing her down. Employ normal things like poisons and whatnot, attack from outside of her range with magic, as she does only have range 1 attacks, and you should be fine. With that, you will have successfully cleared Tiki's map on Maddening. This is quite the tough one. I don't know if I'd say it's the hardest one of all the DLC maps, but it's a heck of an intro, that's for sure. And if you felt like it, you could also grab the silver card with the rewarp staff or a warp staff. It's that little glowy bit next to the lake. So, but yeah, that said, I hope you have fun clearing these maps. I certainly have. If you have any further questions, if you need any further help, feel free to drop them in the comments or join us in my Discord where people discuss this stuff all the time. As I said, I'll be doing more of these clear guides for the rest of the DLC maps, as I know they can be quite challenging, letting you guys know what my strategies are that I employed to find success. But with that said, my name has been Tom, otherwise known as Titanium Legman. I hope you all have a good night. Stay safe and healthy out there. And remember, be good to each other. Bye now.